Everybody awake out there? Okay, let's try it again. Is everybody awake out there? All right, here's one of the rules of my game here. Number one, if I say, "Are you ready?" you say, "I was born ready." Are you ready? Oh, come on. I know you're better than that. Let's try it again. I'm going to talk about insects today. I'm going to give you some information on. Some of you probably already know it. Some of you may learn something new about this. But let's get started. Are you ready? I was born ready, okay? All right, let's get started. Insects rule the world. There's more insects on Earth than there is any other creature, more than all the plants and animals combined, over 1 million species, and that has been identified. And there's a lot more than that. We just don't know it yet. And I thought this was kind of interesting. 1 out of every 5 animals is a beetle, like a June bug. Okay? Next slide, please. So, why are they so successful, you may ask? Well, they're small, multi-generational. They can fly. Every insect has the capability of flying, even though there are some that don't. Okay? And then likewise, they eat just about anything. And there's a wide variety of habitats and resources that they can exist in. Did you know there are insects on Antarctica? Yeah, they are. It's pretty cold there. All right, next slide, please. All right, so we've got more than 1,000 species of insects found everywhere in North America and beyond, and so forth. Some are very harmful, but some are also helpful. Okay. Now, did I tell you I was going to have quizzes today? I'm going to give you quizzes today, and I think at most of the tables there's a tablet, an iPad. And you will be able to respond to the quiz questions when we get to them. All right, so get your iPads ready. All right, honeybees. Good or bad? Are you ready? I was born ready. Oh, come on, you guys. You're no fun. I know you got it in you. Boy, that's pretty unanimous, isn't it? How many have heard of the African killer bees? They're honeybees. Next slide, please. Honeybees are, they're good when they pollinate and produce honey. I mean, we like that. It's very helpful to agriculture and everything. However, they're bad when they sting you. Next slide. For example, the person on the left there, people swell up tremendously, and there are also people that are highly allergic to the venom. The venom's a protein, and they can go into what's called anaphylaxis, where your tongue swells up and your throat swells shut and you can't breathe and so forth, and people have died from that. Now, it also says down here 500 to 1,000 stings to kill the average person. All right, this is what those African killer bees do. They're honeybees and so forth, but they have this very aggressive swarming ability. When they start releasing the alarm pheromone, they swarm and they get very aggressive and agitated and so forth, and they'll just attack whatever threatens the nest. And they're relentless. They'll continue to attack and attack and attack and attack. They'll crawl up your nose, into your ears, all the while stinging you. They'll crawl into your mouth, suffocate you, all the while stinging you, and so forth, and everywhere else on your body. So, next slide, please. The other thing is that they have a tendency to swarm very readily. And again, it's that alarm pheromone that's going to cause them to swarm, and so forth. Next slide. So, a swarm means they're going to leave the hive readily. They're going to come out and they're going to attack. That's a pretty awesome picture right there. Next slide. But not all swarms are bad. This is one of the ways that they split the colony when it gets overpopulated, or if there's 2 queens. 2 things can happen if there's 2 queens. One, the 2 queens fight to the death, and whoever survives then controls the colony. But there's also the possibility that one of the queens will fly off and take some of the population with her. And that's another reason why bees will swarm, is to do things like that. And so they find a new nesting site and so forth. And I always thought that picture of people that do, I would never do that. I think that guy's crazy. But they'll do it, they go for a Guinness World Record. How many bees can you get on them? I don't know what the record is, but it's incredible. Next slide. All right, next question. Termites. Good or bad? Now be careful. I like to play stump the students, Wow, I didn't scare anybody, did I? Next slide, please. All right, they're bad when they eat wood in your house. They can do a tremendous amount of damage to homes and so forth. And in fact, if you buy a house, one of the first things that you'll have done is an inspection. And part of that inspection should be, are there the effect of termites in the house or not? And it's easy to see because they leave a lot of litter and stuff behind. However, they are good because they're responsible for the breakdown of fallen trees in wooded areas and on property and so forth. And so they do have a role to play in the ecology as well. I want to talk a little bit about eusociality, eu meaning true socialism in the terms of insect lives. We've got termites, ants, and bees and wasps and so forth. And all termites are eusocial, and so are ants and wasps and bees. Some are and some aren't. Termites are all eusocial. Next slide. And here you see they have a caste system. It's a division of labor. Different individuals have different jobs to do for the nest. And in doing so, they tend to, like the males and females that are involved in reproductivity, soldier protecting the nest, and then of course workers chew up all the wood and create damage. Next slide. On the left there, this is a termite mound that's found in Australia, and as you can see, they can be pretty productive. And then also, if you look over here at this piece of pine, this is the damage that a termite can do to a board, and that's a pine board. All right, that's it. Thank you. You've been a great audience. I hope you learned something today. And next time you're out and about and so forth, don't step on that insect. Admire its beauty and be mindful of living things. Okay?